What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. Today we've got a fun unboxing and some up-close looks at some lures from First Gen Lures. Now, first heard of them, I don't know, a couple months ago, and you already saw me fish this lure, the TopSpin, with some good success. Cool little lure. Now, I know when I first saw it, I thought, well, how is this any different from an underspin? I'll go over that. So I'm going to go over the 3 different lures that they came out with, give you some rigging options, and even show you some catch footage and underwater footage of what these look like. So enough yapping, let's take a closer look, starting with the FlashX Swim Jig. Now this dude is pretty cool. When I first saw this one, this is what caught my eye. I thought swim jig meets little finesse spinnerbait slash like old school beetle spin or upside down underspin. So it says the FlashX Swim Jig utilizes an overspin blade behind the line tie, allowing you to skip it under docks. Through cover, it acts as a weed guard, which I like. It features a 100-pound titanium guard here. So this wire that you see here, it's not like a normal wire like on a spinnerbait or something like that where you'd bend it and it would hold that shape. This pops right back. So you can see as you bend this and move it, you can kind of move it here. Some of these I've kind of had to fix out of the box to make sure they're straight like that. So you can bend it kind of down toward the head, but unlike, you know, regular wire type baits, you're not having to fix this after every single fish. And this acts as a weed guard, so you can see here. Now, when I'm setting the hook on this, I do set it pretty stout, you know, pretty hard because there is that wire in front of it. So I'm kind of using a side sweep, hitting it hard. I'm not just, you know, kind of letting them grab it and pulling in because that is in the way of the hook. So make sure you set the hook with it. It's also nice having that kind of subtle flash of the underspin on top because I can bring this up over wood. I can tick the tops of grass and everything, and my blade is still up here, so it's not collecting all that gunk. You know, that's kind of the bad thing to fishing an underspin is, you know, it's nice, it's subtle, but oftentimes when you're running through stuff, you're getting stuck, you know, kind of caught on the bottom of this in the gunk. So kind of acts like a weed guard, and it stays up off of that gunk if you're bouncing it over things or coming over wood. Now they have 13 different colors of these in the lineup, ranging from 3/8, 1/2, or 3/4 ounce, and they all have a 5/0 mustad hook, which as you can see is a sticky sharp. They've got some really neat colorways they put together, and they mixed up the blades. I like that they did that, not just putting on like one type of blade. So you could go something more natural like this. This is the Delta 420. Almost looks like, you know, a bream, a bluegill type thing, you know, a dark looking bluegill. I've got a X Zone 3.5-inch swam around here. I think this is the warmouth, but, you know, kind of that chartreuse, just to kind of give it a little bit of contrast to it with a gold blade to mimic a bluegill. The first one I showed you there, again with the gold blade, that was their take on the baby bass. If you fish dirty water, no worries. They've got a black and blue with the black little Colorado blades. So they even mixed it up between the willow blades and the Colorado blades. Really like that one. You don't see that much in like a swim jig type deal. They've got the red and orange on the burnt craw. If you're fishing stained water in the spring and you want a kick blade, they got that too. The chartreuse and white with that nice reddish orange blade. They've got straight up green pumpkin, ghost shad, you know, that nice natural clear water look. Probably going to be another fan favorite, the juicy gill color. Look at that. Also in the red and orange, a little bit more orange on it, the killer craw color. The morning shad, kind of in the white and lavender that I really like. Smoke shad, spotlight, which is your white and chartreuse with some lines in it. And then, of course, all white. And there's just something about an all-white lure like this, whether it's a chatterbait, spinnerbait, swim jig, or a TopSpin like this. They just flat out catch fish. Now, for trailers, so far I've really been liking the 3.5-inch swammer from X Zone, but you could go with your Kitech. You could go with like a little craw type profile on here. You could even go with like a little fluke trailer, and actually you're going to see this on one of their other products that I really like on it. A bunch of different options like this. I mean, you know, you could even go with like a Rage Menace. Heck, on that black and blue, something like this might look good. This is new. Let's try it. Oh, wow. Yeah, that 4-inch boss grub on there looks absolutely killer. Look at that. You know, similar to the Rage Menace, those are going to be kicking back there. It's in line with the baits. You know, it looks like a bait fish tail back there, rigged vertically. Oh, man, black and blue. Woo, that looks pretty neat. So again, that's the TopSpin, kind of like a mix between a swim jig and like a finesse spinnerbait. When you want that, you know, vertical line tie coming through sparse grass, you know, where you can get away with a blade. But sometimes you want to downsize this, right? And they've got a product for that too. And you may have seen me fish this recently.
Did you get a wally?
Not a wally.
That's a better bass.
Another tubby dink. All right, we're tubby dinking today. I'll take it. Thanks for eating, fella. 2 on the day. The TopSpin, this is one I fished a month or so ago. Really neat. This one caught my eye because I'm thinking underspin. But what's the bad part of an underspin? Again, when you bring it over anything, you tick the tops of grass, your underspin blade and everything kind of gets all gunked up. So you can bring this over wood. Now the TopSpin comes in 5 different colors, and it comes in a number of different sizes, not only weights, but also the hook. So everything all the way down to like a 3/16 3/0, like that little guy right there, all the way up to that big 1/2 ounce 6/0. So it's nice that they come in a number of different sizes because you can really get a few different looks with this. So again, the X Zone Swammer, and this has just been one of my favorites this year I've had in my bag. You could rig, little dippers on here, Kitex, Rage Swimmers, whatever you want to put. Grab your, your favorite little paddle tail and put it on here. And this is the exact one from the video. I cut it off. And again, it's got that titanium, guard, I guess you could essentially call it, but the blade holder, so it's like an underspin, but the blade's on top. And it's also, again, like that finesse, kind of like the old Beetle Spin, but in an updated, tougher, stronger package. So I was throwing this on, you could throw it on a medium, like a little one like this. You could throw it on a medium heavy. You don't have to go crazy heavy with this, but again, make sure you're pulling into those fish. You don't want to just let them grab it and think that, it's like an open hook. So this color is the Glimmer Shad, my personal favorite, that kind of silvery with the black top. That's what a lot of the gizzard shad around here look like. They've also got the gold splatter. You can see their gold head, and it's kind of got like some silvery looking splatter on it. Good old standard green pumpkin if you're trying to mimic a bluegill. Now these do only come in the willow blades, but they do have the silver and the gold color in these. I know it's kind of hard to tell because of my lighting, but that is a gold blade and that's a silver blade. Again, for early spring, they've got that molten craw, the red with kind of the green pumpkin up top. And last, just your regular old shad, white with kind of a greenish up top, kind of like a thread fin. It's got that iridescence on it. Really pretty looking. I like those. Now, trailers. So I said you can go with your favorite paddle tail, but remember when I was saying these little Z2s are some sort of little fluke bait? Well, here's that gold splatter with the gold blade. You can see it a little bit better there. A fluke on one of these, super natural looking. You've got the flash from the blade here, a good small profile on that. So if you're trying to mimic, smaller bait fish in the area, those new hatch of the year, this is going to be perfect this fall. Or if they're really picking, you've really got to downsize. Talking about like an old school, beetle spin. I mean, this is it here. This thing will get crappie. This is a little 3-inch haze dong shad from Mega Bass. A subscriber sent me these. And look at that. Look at that little profile there. This is in the Tennessee shad color, and there's all kinds of glitter within it, different colors. I mean, that looks super realistic. Nice little profile. Compare that to something like this, and you can see there's a definite size difference. If you're really trying to slim down, maybe you've got a place that's a lot of pressure, I think something like this will catch you some fish. Okay, last up from first gen, we've got the jaw dropper. Now this comes in 2 different sizes, the 2/0 hook with 3/16 ounce weight, or 3/0 hook, 1/4 ounce. You can see that they call it the jaw dropper because this has a little bit different head shape. It's not your normal kind of like swim bait head, and this is actually meant to be fished on the bottom like a Ned jig with that. Look at that. Isn't that neat? So the interesting thing about this, it's not like a cast and reel out like a crankbait. It doesn't move through the water like that. It's meant to be fished on the bottom, and when you pop this with slack line, it does kind of a cool walk the dog action. Now, this thing is neat because I would also think, if you've got like sandy or pebbly bottoms, you could run this, and with that head, the blade on the head there, it's going to deflect off stuff. It's going to, dig up stuff, kind of like a little trench to look like bait fish feeding in there. Now, like a little 3-inch paddle tail works really well on here. This is the 2.8-inch donkey tail from Mule Fishing. Looks really neat on there. That's the Sunrise, I think Sunrise, or Dakota Sunrise. Cool look to it, but I put the paddle on up, so like this, so I can bring it on the bottom, and that paddle's still kicking back and forth. But again, it's meant to be used like a Ned rig. So you can see here with just a regular Ned rig on here, it looks really neat. And look at, just the kind of subtle motion it gives it. It's not meant to be fished like your normal Ned rig like this. It's meant to be kind of popped and walked on the bottom. So putting a little bit different spin on, one of the finesse lures that right now is an amazing fish catcher. The smallmouth, St. Lawrence, something like this was absolutely cleaning up, but gives it just a little bit different look. And I think something like this could help, especially with all the fishing pressure. Now this guy comes in 5 different colors. This is the Glimmer Shad again, that silver with the black top. Again, they've got the gold splatter, and they put the eye on it. So especially if you want to fish this like a swim bait, that eye, I like having an eye on there. Some people say it doesn't make a difference, but I like it. Green pumpkin, again, to mimic your bluegill or any sort of dark head like that. A crawdad, anything like this that's got kind of a dark outline, especially with like a Ned rig, just a regular green pumpkin or black on here, look great. Again, the red with just a little bit of green pumpkin on it, that's that molten craw, and this is one of my homemade from Do It, one of their little Midwest Ned style baits. Look at that, doesn't that? That looks pretty tasty. And then again, your shad, kind of like that thread fin shad with a little bit of that iridescence on it. Good natural color. All right, fishing friends, again, comment below and let me know which one of these was your favorite. Cool to take a look at these up close. Again, I've got a different setup now for my up close, you know, hands in front of the camera deal, and I really needed that. I've been rearranging the whole basement, but turned out well, so I can give you up close looks at the colors and all these. I think it really does come out better over there, but I think so far my favorite's the TopSpin, you know, kind of like that little twist on the underspin, but it's like a overspin. Number of different ways you can use this, and again, it's got kind of that wire in front of it to help keep it weedless or woodless, because I fish all kinds of wood, fine wood, pitch to wood. Even with something like this and not having that exposed hook, kind of having that little guard in front of it does help. Now today's subscribed fishing friend is Jesse G. Jesse, thank you so much for watching, always commenting and supporting, and everybody else who continues to watch, support. It means a ton to me. Like these guys, the Burley bunch over there, Jeff and Paul, awesome guys with some awesome shirt designs. I need to hit them up, and I think we're going to work on a shirt collab too, but I need to hit them up to get a cool design and get some of my own merch up, because people are always asking me for stuff. I need to get to it. So again, check out this video. I'm going to link this here at the end. Fishing the TopSpin, cool little lure from First Gen Lures. Give them a look. I'll have everything linked up down below. But enough yapping for me. I got to get to bed. So thank you all for watching. And until next time.